Hello and welcome to the Craftsman Show. My name is your host, the Craftsman. In today's video, we're going to straight up take something like this right here, some hickory shell, some pecans, and make it into metal jewelry. Craftsman, how in the world did you do that? I'm about to show y'all. Do y'all know what this is right there? That is a pecan. Some people, they don't realize it, but they say it wrong when they say pecans. That is not a pecan. A pecan is something that you keep on side your bed at night when it's too cold to get up and go to the bathroom. And depending on the circumstance of your bladder size, you might need a bigger one than that, but that's just an average pecan. This is a pecan. One of my favorite things about a hickory shell like that right there is you may notice a natural occurring heart shape. As many of you might know, a heart is representative of cardiovascular and also of love for somebody else. And to me, that's symbolic. I feel symbolic today, but I felt so symbolic yesterday. Mr. Jones and me tell each other stories and things. Craftsman, you telling me that I can make a necklace from some nuts material into metal? That's crazy. No, also, yes, I'm telling you that. But also, you can make a pewter necklace out of anything that you can. What's that scratching sound? Oh no, I think that's a squirrel. And that works out just good because squirrels play a part in this video. Now this video today, I'm just going to be showing y'all some hickory shells and pecans and things. And some of y'all may already know the hickories and pecans both is related to each other, same family kind of a situation. I'm just hunting around. One thing that amazes me is if y'all ever try to shell a hickory nut, they are slapped hard to crack. Just about got to get you a hammer. A squirrel has got enough jaw power that they could just crack open a hickory nut like no problem. Like, yeah, this is what I do every day, Craftsman, eating hickory nuts. That is crazy the way squirrels designed to be able to do that right there. Since I'm making a 2-part mold, I'm going to take me some clay, knead it, squish and mush it, and then I'm going to set it up into a little box right there. Make me a good flat little bed like that. And then take your object and go on ahead and push it down into the clay. Wherever how far down it goes into it, that's where your seam line is going to be. So keep that in mind, all right? And then I'm going to take me a little silicone tool and smooth around, and try to make me a little clean edge. Then I'm going to take me a little ball tool right there and make some little registration marks. This is going to help the two halves of the mold to line up. It's going to make a little bit more sense in a little bit. I showed y'all in a previous video about how to use mold mix. I made a metal version of Sogmaster Captain Crunch arch nemesis. If y'all interested in that, go check that out in my videos. But anyway, I'm just gonna mix up the mold mix. What'll happen with this mold mix is that you mix it. When it's looking red like that, all consistent, that's what you want. And then I'm gonna go on ahead and pour it carefully and just kind of let it sink into place. Usually when you pour in silicone, you want to pour from kind of high up and then let it form a thin stream, and that helps eliminate the bubbles. But I've noticed with this mold mix that it tends to be kind of thick, so I just go on ahead and just pour it out, you know. And then making the second half of the mold is easy. The work is on making that first half, as y'all seen with that clay. See that right there? That probably goes in a little bit too far. And so what I'm gonna do is take me some little bit of clay like that and try to put that clay down up into it. Now we about to take some petroleum jelly from Fred's dollar store and put it all up on this right here. And the reason how come you do that is when you go ahead and pour the second half of this, silicone sticks to silicone. Y'all always in life, I want y'all to remember that. So you have to put something as a release agent so that you can get your second half of your mold back up off of this. And I'm just using me a little silicone brush looking right there. All right, we got it good and coated. And now we're ready to pour the second half of the mold on it. We're ready to disassemble this retaining wall looking box thing right here. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this right there. And now that's what we're looking like. So I'm gonna take and try to get into this little corner right here. And you can see part of that little pecan came off, but that is all right. You could just scrape that off of there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this pecan right there. I'm gonna eat it. I'm just kidding with y'all. Don't eat this. Don't eat these pecans. I wouldn't eat none of this. I just would just hang on to it, you know. Let's see. It looks like the details was captured pretty good. We got to make us some little spouts that we can pour things into this. All right. And for that, we're gonna use a little X-Acto knife. I think what I'm gonna do right here is cut a little vent instead of making it a pour spout. Cause what you want is when you pour your casting material into this, it's going to force air bubbles, all right? And you don't want the air bubble to be caught right up under there. All right, that'll create a void in your cast piece. So probably what you should do, go ahead and just at least cut your little vent up into it. All right. And that way it'll give the air bubble a little escape. Can get up out of there. And now we done cutting our vents. We just going to put them together. See how things fit. And that's why we got these little registrations. See the little bumps and things like that? Nah, then. And that just keeps things from sliding around. Look at that. Now, that's where we're going to pour our casting materials. Oh, excuse me. Here we go. Right up into there. And if we find that we got bubbles or little things, you know, you can always go in and cut cut these vents a little better, make your pour spout a little bigger if you need to. You can continually modify this. One thing I will say about Mold Master 60, everything in life is a trade-off. That's what my dad taught me growing up. And what he meant by that is that some silicones has a high tear strength, will not tear easy, but cannot resist heat. And then you got some silicones that can resist heat, but they can kind of tear easy. So, this is easy to cut, easy to tear, so be careful with it. One thing we're going to need to do is to clamp this. When you're pouring something with heat, you can't just put rubber bands around it, because if that metal comes over onto the rubber bands, pop, pop, and then look, and then you got mess everywhere, metal all over the place. Look at Metal Man back there. He look like he nervous. Metal Man, you safe. We ain't gonna melt you, okay? I got my hot pot plugged in. We're going to let this heat up. And while that is heating up, I found me a couple of pieces of wood and some clamps that we can hold everything in place with. But before we do that, we need to go on ahead and to dust this right here with some baby powder. Craftsman, don't breathe that baby powder. That's gonna kill you instantaneously if you breathe. Well, I do recommend that, any kind of dust, you need to wear your dust mask. All right, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm just fitting to dust this, and my mama used baby powder on me, and I never noticed any problems with me. And besides that, my mama used baby powder on me. I never noticed any problems with me. Let's see. All right. What this is going to do is to help eliminate, to help minimize the bubbles that can form on the surface. All right. So we're going to, that's what they call excess. All right. So, and you want to make sure that the surface is coated pretty good with it. Get us a little sandwich right here. I'm gonna go ahead and clamp that side. We're about to clamp that side right there. Can y'all see that getting hot? Look at that. That's getting hot up in there. See the element? All right. So anyway, when you go to pour it, you don't want to have to be, you don't want to have to be holding this while you pour it. That's a big time no. That'll burn. In fact, you probably need to be wearing you some better gloves than what I got on too. I'm showing y'all the different things not to do. This right here is a piece of lead-free pewter that I got off Amazon. I have used this before. I'll put a link down in the description of this video. While we waiting on this to melt down, I went ahead and grabbed me a little spoon, and I bent it like that right there, because that's what I'm gonna use to get the dross up out of it. All the little impurities and things that float to the top, we could just kind of skim that and just kind of set it aside like that. I want to give a very special thank you, shout out to all my Patreon supporters. Thank y'all so much. And these names right here are the people who say, look, Craftsman, I'm gonna give you some money, and appreciate each and every single one of y'all for making this possible. And we're not gonna pour it just yet. We're gonna let it sit for a little bit. But so I'm gonna take that little dross like that right there and just kind of, All right, I think we're about ready to pour it. On this part right here, we just going to take our time and just be careful that you got your work surface. There's nothing that you worried about. See, I got a big piece of plywood. I don't want to melt my workspace, and so I got everything out the way. We ready to go. Let's do this. And you know me, I like to just pour it all over the place like that right there. Craftsman, how in the world you gonna do something like that right there? Hey, y'all just hang with me. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Now we just gonna wait probably about 15, 20, 25 minutes, 23, 21 minutes, something like that. Uh-oh. Well, we can see that a couple of these things turned out all right. But that right there wasn't complete. Let's see. These things still pretty warm, I'm going to tell you that. Let's see right there. Can y'all tell which is which? That's the original one. And that's the metal one. Craftsman, you crazy. Think about all the different things you can do with this, different jewelry types of things. You can sculpt something out of easy to, you could take something, an object, you can just, if you wanted to, you can sculpt you an original piece of jewelry right here out of some clay or something like that. You can take and make you something and say, like this right there, and say, I would like to make a metal version of that. You would do a better job than what Craftsman just did, but for example, so you take and make you a heart, and you make a mold of this, as long as it ain't got sulfur. It needs to be sulfur-free clay. All right, you can use this. You can use Aves, epoxy sculpt, different things, and then you can just straight up make you a metal version of anything that you can imagine. Sometimes I feel like I get excited and other people ain't excited with me. Are y'all excited with me? I like to take and put me some little, do some little patinas type things and to bring out the details. And there's all kind of, I've shown y'all some different patina things. For pewter, I like to just simply take me some black wash like this right here. Just a couple of different little patina options that I like to use right there. And put up on it. All right. And look, I ain't even afraid of this. I just go ahead and just get it. And look, this is another reason why I wear gloves all the time, because I like to get up in this thing and just, Now look at that right there. See all the little details? And we just gonna let that dry. See how it starts to do? See that? All the little cracks and things. That's neat right there. I even thought about you could do some type of little inlay. Probably some turquoise or something like that. I don't know. All kinds of possibilities with this mess right here. And as you can see, we got us a little hole right there. See that little mark, little dimple? That we can go ahead and drill to put the hardware on it. And we just want to file down in the little burrs and things that stick up, to make it smooth. I like to take and hit me with some little steel wool like that right there. And just hit it like that. And that helps to bring out some of the highlight areas. And now you can make yourself some pecan necklaces. And you can give that to people, and they'll probably tell you that's just nuts. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope that you are inspired to make you some metal jewelry. However that you see that you can do, you can do it. All right? Think about good things. Remember that the things that you have on your mind is what makes the mood that you are in. So, think good thoughts. You feel good about yourself, about other people. I love y'all. Keep steady crafting.